We have just about 50 people, so I think we have a critical mass. Let's get started. Let's not waste any more time of people who have already joined. So, thank you. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. We have people joining across the world for this webinar. Thank you all for joining us today. And it's going to be an exciting webinar on the most famous topic of ChatGPT with Salesforce, like two very heavyweight on both sides. Before I start, maybe I'll just try to ease the atmosphere. It takes about 3 to 4 years to become a pilot, probably 4 to 6 years of education to become an engineer, perhaps 5, 7, 12 years to become a doctor, 5 to 6 years for a PhD. In the last 3 months, we have more ChatGPT experts than probably all this combined. Right? So that doesn't mean it's going to be very easy to become a ChatGPT expert. So nobody will claim here that anybody is an expert. But then the idea of this webinar is to give you a quick preview of what is possible. As you may all know this ChatGPT based on this GPT model. GPT is like generative pre-trained transformer. Like it's a kind of language processing model based on OpenAI. Any of you would have already read a lot about it. You would have tested GPT-3 architecture. GPT-4 is already launched. And this is revolutionizing the way we interact with machines, enabling natural language processing and the way we understand systems, or like how we communicate with systems in a human-like conversation. Now, on the other side, we have, say, Salesforce, world's leading CRM platform, or in fact, world's #1, I would say, enterprise cloud enterprise platform. Salesforce has already overtaken SAP, Oracle a couple of months back, and it helps businesses manage all sales, marketing, customer service. I'm again I'm just assuming a lot of audience, you guys are already well aware of what Salesforce is, what is possible in Salesforce. Now imagine the power of ChatGPT with the capabilities of Salesforce. Like the possibilities are just endless. We are talking about using AI or a language conversational model in customer interactions, improving, say, customer engagements, improving your employees' email writing skills, or streamlining some business processes. The possibilities are just endless. Now, again, we are not going to demo or talk about all these options. We want to keep this webinar in a format where it is easy to understand. We want to just give you that initial nugget of information where what is possible. So with that, let me hand over it to my tech team. Basically, what they're going to be doing in this webinar is we'll break it into 2 or 3 sections. The first section is where they will introduce what is GPT. They will introduce what is currently available or possible. Even in Salesforce, in fact, Salesforce recently launched Einstein GPT, which is kind of like more core integration, but again, everything is in beta and this is not available. But what we are going to be talking today is basically already available. You can start fidgeting around immediately after this webinar. And that again gives a lot of possibilities as to what is already available and what kind of different code or like ideas you can start experimenting probably from today or like by the next weekend. And with that, again, thank you and welcome everyone for joining us today on this webinar. Let me hand over this to Aman and Sangamesh, who will talk about how you can integrate the GPT APIs with Salesforce. Post which we can again come back to a Q&A session where we can discuss more about questions and we can actually answer based on best of our abilities. So over to you, Aman. Thank you. And thank you for giving me this opportunity. This is a very interesting topic. So by the way, I guess I didn't introduce myself. I am Balish. I am CEO and co-founder of Apsys. So I'm quite excited that I get to do this hands-on once a while. So, and there's a very interesting topic which is very close to my heart. I still remember learning neural networks as an elective back in 2004. So these are not, very easy latest topics or something new. These have been areas which have been people have been working for like probably last 25, 30 years. So finally now it has reached the critical mass and it has come to the audience. So I'm like quite excited. Over to you, Aman. Thank you.
Sure. Thank you, Balesh. So hello everyone. Good morning, good afternoon, and good night for people whoever has joined from across the world. So first of all, let me introduce myself. I am Aman. I am working as a senior software engineer in Salesforce, and it's been around more than 2 years. And I have around 3+ years of experience into Salesforce ecosystem. So let me start with the ChatGPT integration with Salesforce. So please let me know if you are able to see my screen. I think you can see my screen, right?
Yes, Aman. Yes.
Okay. So today our topic is ChatGPT integration with Salesforce. So we all know that since ChatGPT released in November 2022, it's been a talk of the town. People are talking about ChatGPT everywhere, and it is not new. So I'm expecting all of you are aware of ChatGPT in one form or another. And I'm expecting that most of you have Salesforce background, but even if you don't know Salesforce, then please you can unmute yourself and you can ask anything if you don't know about Salesforce. Otherwise, I will give a quick intro about Salesforce also. So Salesforce is nothing but a cloud computing system to automate our business. So Salesforce is actually a world #1 CRM, customer relationship management system. But we cannot simply say Salesforce is just a CRM because Salesforce is huge and we have different clouds available on Salesforce like sales, service, education, finance, marketing, etc. So Salesforce is pretty much huge than just a CRM, and it offers both kind of solution, like it could be PaaS or it could be SaaS. So people who are not aware of these terms like PaaS or SaaS, then it is just like software as a system and platform as a service. So in this session, we are going to discuss ChatGPT integration with Salesforce. So how we will be leveraging the API provided by ChatGPT and to use it within Salesforce. So, and this is just a discrimination. So if you want to have a look, then please. I'm not going to read it up because this is used.
Yes, you can go on, Aman. Let's.
Yeah. So these are the speaker details. And this is our agenda. So today I'm going to talk on, ChatGPT introduction. Then we will see what are the prerequisites that we need in order to integrate ChatGPT with Salesforce. Then we will have a look on API differences. Then we have planned a demo. And then we will talk on limitations. And then finally we will have a question answer as well. So introduction. So as you can see, ChatGPT is nothing but a pre-trained transformer commonly called as ChatGPT. It is launched by OpenAI in November 2022. So OpenAI is actually the company which is providing ChatGPT. It is built on top of GPT-3, but again, since then they have released 3.5 and 4 as well. And it is fine-tuned with both supervised and reinforcement learning techniques. It is a trained chat module which interacts in a conversational manner, so you can ask anything to the bot and it will give you the answer for that. Sometimes it will make mistakes. Sometimes it can give you a biased decision. Anything, because this is a AI. So we cannot 100% know what is the actual thing and what it is given by the ChatGPT. So our thought and ChatGPT thinking process would be different, because since it is AI, we cannot depend fully on the intelligence services. So here we come to the prerequisites. So first of all, you will have to create one account for OpenAI in order to even use the chatbot of ChatGPT, or if you want to create a key or leverage their API, then also you need to sign up. So let me quickly open this website. So you can see the ChatGPT website, right? So actually I have already logged in. So you can see my screen. Otherwise, what you need to do is you need to open this and sign up for yourself. Once you have done your sign up, then you need to create a API secret key to make HTTP call out. So once you open the chat, sign up to the ChatGPT OpenAI platform, you will see your profile on the top right. So here you can see, if you go in the view APIs keys, then here you can see I have created two keys for me. So creating a key is very simple. So for example, if I'm clicking on create a key, as you can see, it is creating a key for me and giving me. So I can simply copy it and paste. So like this, you can paste it on a notepad or on your document anywhere. So this key will be, required in order to make a call out to OpenAI. After that, people who are already into Salesforce ecosystem, they may have Salesforce development org already. If you are new to Salesforce, then you will have to create a Salesforce developer account. And let me tell you, it is free. To create a Salesforce developer account, you do not need to pay anything. So you have to simply do Google, sign up for Salesforce developer org. So you can see this link, developer edition sign up. So from here, actually, you can create a Salesforce org for free, just for development purpose, and you can learn Salesforce. You can play with all the functionality provided by the Salesforce. And last thing is, this is again related to the integration. So in any system, or in Salesforce also, if you want to make a call out to some external website or link, then you will have to whitelist that URL. Otherwise, your system will not allow. So Salesforce also doesn't allow external website to directly, make a call to external website. So in order to do that, you need to whitelist that URL. So you will have to provide this website into remote site setting of the Salesforce, and then you will be able to make a call to this URL. So for integration, this is also a mandatory step. So this is how API request will look like. So as you can see here, ChatGPT accept the API request in this particular format. So before showing it, let me show you the developer guide of ChatGPT. So once you sign up to the ChatGPT, you can see the third tab is API references here. So here they are giving everything, about integration with OpenAI, what are the things available, completion, model, chat. So different kinds of API is also available. You can have API for just image, you can have API enabled for chat, for completion. So in this example that we are going to talk, we are utilizing this API, as you can see, completion. So what it will do is, as it is already mentioned here, even a prompt, the model will return one or more predicted completions and can also return the probabilities of alternative tokens at each position. So we are going to make a call out to this URL that I already shown you, and we are going to go with HTTP post method. So if you are already aware of how to do integration in any system, then you know, HTTP protocols, how to make a call. So there are different methods available, post, get, patch, etc. So in this example, we are going to use HTTP post method to this end URL endpoint. So here you can see the request body. So this is the request body. As you can see at the right side of my screen. So this is nothing but the URL. Then we have content type authorization, where we will be providing the API key that we have already generated just now. And these four are the parameters of the request. So here you can see model, prompt, max tokens, and temperature. So prompt will be our actual question, what we are going to ask. So for example, I am asking ChatGPT to what is Apex or what is Salesforce. So that we need to pass under prompt. So prompt will be our question. Other than that, we have three different things like model, max token, and temperature. So if you see the developer guide, here they have mentioned what is model. So idea of the model to use, you can use the list models or you can use any other available models. So we can check all the models available in the model overview. Prompt will be our query, what we are going to ask to ChatGPT. Then we have max tokens. So the token count of the prompt cannot exceed the model's context length. And most models will have context length of 2048 tokens. So, I mean, these are just, okay. Let me see. So how much is the limit of characters in the response? Can this return to 3 pages of reference? So I don't think so, because even if you directly open the ChatGPT window, there also, if you are asking for some long answer or some long query, then it will fail. You can see the error occurred and it is asking you to regenerate the response. And even if you are trying to regenerate the response, then also it is failing. So even it is failing from ChatGPT website itself. So by integration, I mean, again, it will fail, because integration also we will have some limitation from both sides, Salesforce and from ChatGPT as well. So we cannot generate 3 pages of reference, 3 pages of response. So that you can play with and you can see how much you are able to generate.
Yeah.
But there is
Yeah,
a
so
limit.
Aman, like generally it would written 4 to 5 lines of paragraph. Apart from that, if I have a more information on a Salesforce, suppose I'm typing a what is a Salesforce. So apart
Yeah.
from that 4-5 lines, it is not returning anything. So is there any limitations for that?
So sometimes ChatGPT doesn't have even answer for your question. So then also it would, because
let
since
me
it
let
is
me take that. Let me take that, Aman. And then maybe other questions we can take towards the end. Otherwise, we will end up losing time on the demo. But specifically, Sejal, basically this is the free version of that API where they have token
Yeah.
limitations. And in the token limitation, it can return only so much characters. But the new GPT-4, which is a paid version, has more tokens available. So specifically from a business use case, the recommendation is you use the paid version where it can return more characters. And depending on, like, again, like if you need even more characters for some specific business purpose, you can directly even negotiate with OpenAI's professional editions. Like they have a different pricing structure even for corporates. And if you get that, you can actually get that unlimited response. Like theoretically, ChatGPT can give you an entire novel or an entire policy documents or anything. Our challenge is bringing that via API into Salesforce, depending on the context. So it's purely because of that processing power and the pricing structure. So it is not a technical issue. It is more of a pricing and business issue.
Okay, Balish. Thank you so much.
Aman, you can continue, and then we'll start taking all the. You keep typing all your questions on the chat, and then we can actually come back to all this towards the end.
Yes, sure. Thanks for that, Palace. So again, we have something called temperature and topic. So this is about AI, a specific parameter. So for example, you can provide the value here from 0 to 2. So what is happening is, for example, if you are giving value as 0.2 or 0.3, then it will take lesser risk. Okay. So for example, if you are asking some questions, then AI will not think out, I mean, so out of the box that their reply will be something else only. So if you are giving like 1.8 out of 2 as a parameter, then it will take more risk in order to give the response. Okay, so this is, I mean, temperature and top P both are related to that only. So as you can see here already they have mentioned values like 0.2, it will make output the more random, while lower values like 0.2 will make more focused and deterministic. So it is for AI, both temperature and top P. And then these N is, I mean, optional. These are also optional. This also you can see actually, there are few parameters which is only optional and not required. So they have mentioned everything here. You can read up in detail in the developer guide. So I'm have a look at the code. So let me log into my developer org. So this is one sample Apex code that I have written to integrate the ChatGPT with Salesforce, and I have created Lightning Web Component in order to have a chat request. So here, as you can see, I have my keys and endpoint URL. Then this is my method where I will be getting the queries from the LWC component. So people who are not aware of LWC, it might be new for you, but again, I will show you that as well. So here I am making a call out. If you can see, I have the HTTP method, and then in the request, I am passing my query as here. In this model and prompt temperature, these are already fixed that I have already shown you. I am using HTTP post method. I am providing the authorization and keys that I have already generated through OpenAI. And then here I am storing my response in the response. So here I am sending the request. And if I mean status code is equal to 200, then it is a success. Otherwise, it will be fail. So I am handling the exception in the catch. So let me show you remote site setting. So I have added OpenAI and URL here, as you can see, to whitelist the ChatGPT within Salesforce in order to make a call out to the Salesforce. So I have added a ChatGPT URL in the remote site setting. Then I have actually created a LWC component, which is again, I mean, I'm not going to go deeper into this because this code, I mean, few of you may understand and few of you may not. So here what I'm doing is the Apex call out that I'm making. So here you can see I'm providing the search term, whatever the query, I'm getting it from the UI. So I have written a handler. So from here, actually, we will be passing our queries through LWC component, and on key down is event handler, which will give me the query in the JavaScript side of the LWC component. And I'm passing it to the Apex class and then getting the responses here, as you can see. So again, ChatGPT response will come where it will include some scripts, JS file, some XML file and all. So we will have to sanitize it to get the actual output to look it good on the UI. So let me show you how actually. So this was the request. Yeah. And like this response will come, as you can see. So we will have to, filter our actual output from the response in order to show it on the UI. So that's what I'm doing currently in this. As you can see, if there are any break or an, so I'm removing it from the response, and then I'm storing it to the response data and showing it on the UI. So let me show you a quick demo how it is actually looking on the Salesforce. So I have created a tab for ChatGPT. So this tab I have created using LWC component. So what you can do is, if from the setup, if you search for tabs, then we have a tab. So you can create a tab for LWC component or anything. So as you can see here, I have created a tab for ChatGPT using Lightning Web component. And same I'm showing you here. So the actual chatbot, what you get on the ChatGPT website, not same, but similar kind of UI I have tried to build here. So here you can see at the bottom, I will be asking my questions. And if I'm pressing enter, then it will give the response. So for example, let me ask a question. What is Salesforce? So as you can see, I got the response from OpenAI. So it is saying Salesforce is a cloud-based customer relationship management system that helps business manage customer relationship, track sales leads, and many more. So it is giving, Salesforce introduction even better than me, what I have given initially. So like this, actually, you make use of ChatGPT from the Salesforce. So as of now, you can think of a use case. So for example, if I have to tell a use case, so for example, you are creating a inbound email services in your system, and you might be getting so many types of templates, and you have to create a case from that email. So reading email body would be challenging few times. If template is fixed, then it is pretty much easy to get all the data, extract all the data from the body and create a case. But sometimes, you may have a generic template, people are sending anything. So what you can do is you can, I'm saying this might be a scenario where you utilize the AI of ChatGPT, extract all the required fields from that email body and create a case. So this kind of things we may do. And in the TDX23 that is recently happened in San Francisco, we already know that Salesforce has already announced Einstein GPT, which will be a part of Salesforce ecosystem by direct, and we do not need to integrate like this. Based on your requirement, still you can integrate with ChatGPT, but again, there are some kinds of out-of-the-box solution will be provided by Einstein GPT. So as of now, it is not available to showcase because they have not released it for beta also. So once it comes, we can leverage more. But again, as of now, question is the opportunities. We just need to think of a use case where we can utilize this ChatGPT within Salesforce. There might be some use cases that is there in your mind and you can achieve. So this is how you can leverage the API. So apart from this, I mean, we have another demo as well. So I will ask Sangamesh to please go ahead and case one more demo related to chat.
While Sangamesh is going to go through the demo, a quick. So basically, the idea is what we want to show here in this webinar is the fact that it is possible to integrate ChatGPT with Salesforce. The APIs are open, and the possibilities are basically endless because it's now basically up to us, our creativity. So you can use this for your say customer service. You can use it for email sentiment analysis. You can use it for social media sentiment analysis. Any use case where you can think a text is an input and a text is an output, and then you can basically play around with that the way you want that output. And you can, so instead of you manually going and logging into ChatGPT and then typing something and taking the response and copying pasting it, now you can use the power of automation, because you can now also write code where you can say get the list or a summary and then like post it as an email or like use it as a record. You can save it somewhere. So all these possibilities start coming up. You can use it for say a quick update on a service request in Service Cloud. You can use it, the marketing professional can use it for like say writing a quick email. A sales executive can use it for like quickly updating the description of an opportunity. So like that, the possibilities are endless, and it's now up to our creativity, because this is generally already available and it's kind of open. Yes, Sangamesh, now again, like over to you. So you can
Yes.
go with
Thank
your
you.
demo, and then we can come back and take more questions.
For sure. Thank you. Thank you very much, Ganesh. Yes. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, everyone. My name is Sangamesh, and I'm senior software engineer here. It's been 2+ years working here, and there are a lot of things that we're doing with Sales Cloud, Service Cloud, Tableau, CRM analytics, and integration, and now the Chat GPT, which is the most hot topic currently, which is running from the past 3 to 4 months. So what Aman has explained about is the chat completion. It is more of like basically you will be giving a question or you would like to know about some information that will be generated by the open AI for you, right? And now what I'm going to do is generate an image with the text that you'll be giving. It will be more of a prompt, that is what you intend to uh, have on the screen. With the text you give, the image will be displayed same as is. So what does that request body do contain? So what is the request body at the first place? The request body is something that is making a call out to the OpenAI that will ask some question, and the OpenAI will be able to understand that, okay, Sangmesh is asking me this kind of image. So I need to go through my all the neural models, and then yes, this is the image I would like to show to him. So that is something I'm going to show you. Over here, you can see the parameters as well as the response. So over here, if you see the parameters, I have prompt, the size, the the number of images to generate, and then the size of the image you would like to see. So the response format would be something like this, which I'll be showing you now. So if you see at the technical point of view, I have the ChatGPT key and the endpoint, which is required for the authentication. Someone was asking me the question, can't I use the name credentials for this? So basically, we can use the name credentials, and also we can store the details and then call it over here. And there is a way that we can use directly over here, but we won't be able to use username passwords or authentication or OAuth 2.0 somehow. So now I have given my request body over here, which is as follows. And this is something which will come from the component that we have built, which is using the LWC. And authorization is being made over here to get in touch with the OpenAI API, saying that I'm trying to make a request, and that is kind of post asking it, and then getting back the response and then showing the image. So how does that work? So you can see, I have asked the OpenAI to draw me a cute dog, and it generated an image with its reference of its knowledge and everything. onto the screen. If I say sunset by the beach,
So that's really fantastic. That's uh, that's like magic. So the power of AI unleashed.
yes, well, it's like we wanted to do this in the demo because this is something which is very like hard kind of thing, because it has power of generating image, understanding the file, understanding the audio formats, and file uploading, changing it to the PDF from Word or anything we want to do.
Absolutely,
So
absolutely. In fact,
yes,
GPT-4 is even more powerful and
yes,
going by the discussion. In fact, say initially it may look like very ridiculous, like okay, what is the point of having an image? But now think of the business use cases. You can
yes,
generate logos on the fly. You can generate icons on the fly. You can have very nice interactive images and icons even for your accounts opportunities. You can. It also enables. Accessibility for your
yes,
CRM system. So somebody who is maybe say visually challenged, so they can
yes,
have audio immediately available, like they can start interacting with the system. People
exactly,
can start associating accounts as images. I mean, the possibilities are just endless. It's
yes,
all
well,
about our imagination and our ideas.
exactly. So now I should add one. I would like to add some more points. Like the generator model which we're using is related to GPT-3 and GPT 3.5. But there are some websites like Tome.ai, Gamma AI, and then Lex. These three websites are currently using the GPT-4 models, which are generating the top-notch information in just some seconds for blog or newsletters or emails or anything you would like to do. So the GPT-4 currently is on waitlist, but there are some softwares which are using, like websites and software which are using. But once they accept the wish list of everyone's right, then it's gonna change. Yes,
Okay. So
that's it from my
meanwhile,
side.
Sanjeev, we have two questions.
Yes,
One is Karan Darwar has asked, can we download this image? And Rajesh Alajpur has asked, can we enlarge these images?
yes, yes. Can we? The first question is great. Can we download this image? Yes, we will be able to. We will be getting the response in the format of URL. So somehow we will be able to control it inside the Salesforce with the help of the LWC, which is a component that we are building or more of like on the screen. So you can pass it URL as a parameter for that button, click on the download, which will be downloaded as an image. Can we enlarge those images? Yes, we can. Actually, from the OpenAI point of view, it is only sending 1024 by 1024. And if you want to increase its size, we have to go to the talent error, because when we try to generate 1080 by 1080, it thrown as an error saying that we cannot generate this much large image. So once it is onto the Salesforce, then we have to send some parameters onto the LWC, and then yes, we will be able to enlarge the sizes.
So that's more or less a close on the demo part. Before we move on to question answers, anything else from you, Aman, Sangamesh?
No, I am good from my side. Let's see. I can see a few questions in the chat.
Okay, so let's start. Okay, we have a fantastic question from Rajesh.
Rajesh.
So Rajesh, basically he heads the Salesforce week in Stellantis. He was heading Tech Mahindra Salesforce practice. A very good friend of mine. So I'm glad that you are here, Rajesh. Can we generate Apex code? The short answer is yes. The short answer is yes. The long answer I will leave Sangamesh and Aman to take it up as to how we can do it.
Yes, Aman, will you take it up? Will you take it up or shall I? Aman?
Yeah. So I was just adding on a point that ChatGPT is providing different kinds of API. As of now, we have seen two, like image generation and normal chat. So there are a lot more than this. You can just go through the OpenAI developer guide, and you will come to see there so many different options are also available. So we have one question like, can we generate Apex classes through ChatGPT? Yes, we can actually generate. That is a great question by Rajesh. But again, it depends. Sometimes if it is a normal code or smaller code, then ChatGPT will give the exact Apex code. Sometimes it will not. But you can play with that code given by the ChatGPT, and then you can play with that. You can make some changes here and there, and then you are good to go. So let me show you that as well. So for example, if I ask, I can Apex trigger to update industry based on rating based on industry. Okay. Let me modify the ask. So as you can see, I got one trigger here. So it is checking for the industry type. If it is technology, then it is updating rating to hot. If it is retail, then warm, and if it is manufacturing, then cold. So again, you can do anything from ChatGPT, but again, sometimes the answer will be exact output what you need. Sometimes it will not.
Yes. So in fact, in Einstein GPT, what Salesforce is offering is you can directly type the request as a comment directly from the developer console, and then it kind of auto fills the code. But see, again, the challenge is right now it's not available. So for us, the best part is what we are demoing here is already available. So we'll be able to maybe use this for at least next 3 to 6 months before Einstein GPT is generally available. But again, we are expecting a very high price associated with Einstein GPT. So maybe what we are showing here is probably much more easier and more generally applicable than what's going to come in Einstein GPT.
Yes, there was another question like in terms of Salesforce, can ChatGPT generate result related to a specific record, or it will give response on a general basis? Yes, Sukesh. So generally, what happens is how you want to relate it is something you have in control because there are plenty of objects and then records will be having some details as well. As we are explaining earlier, inbound email service is something that we will be getting the email from outside onto the Salesforce. So since there will be no fixed template for emails, we won't be able to correctly train the model from our side to give the specific response. But like generate giving the proper logic, the parameters, and the details for the Apex code, and then hitting the endpoints will generate the result for a specific record. That will happen. Yes.
Correct.
Because
and in fact, API each login, you can start train your. It's like your ChatGPT, your model. So
yes.
how you train based on your API key, eventually for that particular instance, it get trained.
Yes, Balash. So the technical feasibility behind it is the reinforcement learning that is being used for the ChatGPT. So
Correct.
reinforcement is more of like you will be giving, we will be giving the feedback for it, whether it is correct or not. As we reward it, yes, it will increase its response time, and then decreasing the response time and the response behavior as well. So it is more of
Exactly.
like taking feedback from us and then giving the proper response accordingly.
Yes. In fact, another way to answer this is if you have, like, say, if Sangamesh logs into ChatGPT on his own and asks a particular question, and if I log in and asks the same question, based on our previous conversations, the responses will be different. So more or less, the same concept can be applied on a long run. Based on your Salesforce instance, the responses can be trained for your requirement. So a manufacturing company will get a different response compared to a pharma company over a period of time. Okay, we have one more. After integration, can ChatGPT generate results related to specific record, or will you give a response on? Okay, we just covered that.
So for security, have any
What
security
about
breaches?
while integrating Salesforce with ChatGPT? Gayatri, fantastic question. Right now, I again, like, we would not recommend using what we showed here on production instance directly, because unless you are on the paid version, what you see on the open version is the data then kind of belongs to OpenAI. So from an intellectual property point of view, our recommendation is if you are going to use it for core business functions, always use the paid version. And the paid versions again are like generally secured because you are going through the authentication and dual authentication. It's all single sign-on. It's all pretty safe.
So it is pretty much doing, using the same protocol that we do for another integration, HTTP callout. So, security will be the same for ChatGPT as well. By default, it will not be able to read the Salesforce data directly, but it is not advisable to use it free version in production and all. So
Yes.
we have
As
another
ChatGPT
question.
we have a very good question from Vijay Sai. As ChatGPT requires a lot of processing, training data to improve, provide accurate answers, any views whether it will be available for free after a period of time, at least the basic version. So maybe I'll take that up. Currently, the basic version is free, and they've also committed that it will remain free uh, with certain limitations on the tokens. But again, like for it's similar to how you have your Salesforce developer instance or your Apple developer instance or basically any other instances which are like the free will have certain limitations. It is primarily for developer and training purposes. For once you have learned, once you are using it in production, it is always recommended to use the paid version. And yes, the so again, Karan has asked what are the limitations. So I guess Aman, you had a slide
Yeah.
on the limitations. Yes.
There are few limitations. So first of all, from the Apex itself, we have time limit for the HTTP call out as if it is, exceeding 120 seconds, then it will fail. So this is one limitation. Other than that, sometimes Salesforce, ChatGPT give the response in different formats. So to optimize it and show it on the UI could be challenging from flow or quick actions. Sometimes it may also generate the incorrect information that you already know. We cannot do anything about that since it is AI. Output could be sometimes anything. Sometimes it may also give harmful or biased response that I already talked about. Other than that, I also want to show you one thing. So in ChatGPT, you see if you are doing a chat on the ChatGPT website, then you can ask follow-up questions. So for example, whatever you ask the first question, on base of that only you can also ask the second question. Please add this to the first question or the first response. But in the integration, you cannot do. If you want to do, then you'll have to send the response of the first as a request to the second chat as well. So I think you are getting my point, right? Because
Yes.
since
Yeah.
it is a call out, it will not have the previous request or queries stored in the ChatGPT side. Every time you are making a call out, it's a new. You cannot ask a follow-up questions. If you want to ask, then you will have to play with that, see how can you provide your previous response in the request and then see. So these are the challenges and limitations that we see in ChatGPT. And related to GK as well, so I have seen that if you ask, current affairs to the ChatGPT, then it will not be able to answer correctly. So they have data around till 2021, from 2022 as well, but not everything. So in current affairs questions and all, it will fail sometimes. Sometimes it passes. So that's all about limitations.
And they're continuously improving. So at some point of time, we can expect that to be, closer to the real-time information.
Yeah.
Because eventually, for a business use case perspective, you would want to know about, say, account details before a salesperson makes a call or opportunity details or such things. Unless we have the current information, it will become difficult. But then again, we are looking at a time frame of probably 2 to 3 years. By then, these models will become much more stronger. Okay. So, any more questions? Einstein GPT versus ChatGPT. Okay, so Einstein GPT is basically Salesforce. They themselves are developing, and it is what we call, say, tightly coupled. So they are directly having like the inside code of OpenAI and directly integrating. So it's like, say, how Slack was 3 years back, and now how Slack is. So how it's like tightly coupled, or like how Tableau was earlier and now how it is Einstein Analytics. The same way, ChatGPT is independent. Einstein GPT will be tightly coupled. Now, there are specific use cases and specific advantages, disadvantages. So primarily, I think the disadvantage would eventually revolve around pricing, because Einstein GPT will definitely be more tightly coupled and it will give more features, but it will also be pricey. So for a customer who just wants one small feature or like something very basic, like say sentiment analysis or just responses to emails, or if they want only one small requirement of the capabilities of ChatGPT, doing the external integration would make sense. If they are going to use the entire length and breadth of all the features available, then probably paying for Einstein GPT and taking the version would make more sense. Yes, like what Rajesh has mentioned, they directly use Einstein GPT and no restriction on ChatGPT. Absolutely yes, because then they get direct access to OpenAI, and Salesforce would come up with their own governor limits and restrictions. So definitely yes. And they would also probably train the model in a certain way, because ChatGPT is more open. The kind of responses are more generic. Salesforce would want to restrict it, say, especially around Salesforce competitors. Like if I am a company like Salesforce, I would want to design the software where I don't give responses which are probably tuned more towards my competitor. So Salesforce would definitely designs the Einstein GPT revolving around Salesforce, where responses will be specific to what they have to offer. So okay, so if no other questions, again, like I would really like to thank Aman and Sandesh for taking us through this fantastic demo in such short notice. Thank you, Aman. Thank you, Sandesh. And thank you, everyone. We had a fantastic audience. Thank you all for taking your time and joining this. It has been a fantastic experience for us, taking you all through a very good, interesting topic. I hope it was very informative, and in future, I will be very glad to hear from all of you. Just drop in an email or directly write to us if you come up with some cool tools based on this webinar. We would be more than willing to promote it in social media. Please shoot your ideas. And we have a contact email from anybody from marketing team or HR, anybody who has joined. Any specific contact email for this webinar which you would want to shoot out, or so you can all write to me at balesh@apsys.com, aman.kumar@apsys.com. So we can actually share this particular webinar and content, all the details immediately after this.
Yes.
Oh. So before I close, there is still one more question coming up. You want to cover it quickly? How secure using ChatGPT in production art? I think we have covered that question earlier. Our recommendation is go for the paid version of ChatGPT for production art. Okay.
Yeah.
Definitely, we'll be sharing the PPT. So thank you all, and we would be conducting more such webinars on the latest topics. That's the best part about working at Apsys. We're working on some of the most cutting-edge technology, and I'll be like even more glad to conduct more such webinars We're working on Zero Cloud. We are working on Marketing Cloud, Commerce Cloud. So definitely this session we will continue with more such webinars, and it's going to be a very fantastic road for this webinar series. So thank you all. Thank you all. And let's close it for today. So thank you, everyone.
Thank you, Balash. Thank you.
Thanks, everyone.